If you are creating content in 2024, you know it's not long if you're doing short form that you need to start doing long form, and if you're doing long form you need to start doing short form. These days the amount of apps, the amount of platforms, the amount of spaces there are to post content are endless. And one thing I had to learn very early on as a content creator is that you kind of need to be present in a lot of these areas, not all at the same time, but giving your viewers, almost like your customer, different options is really valuable for discovery, for engagement, for community. And I myself have engaged in this, and I'm on like 700 platforms. I thought I would share with you some tools and tips that I've been using to kind of get all this content out and get it out fast. Prior to using this tool that I'm about to show you today, I was just manually doing everything, and it was taking forever to get podcasts, long form YouTube videos into shorter form videos that I can post on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts even. And today we're going to do a little walkthrough and editing tutorial for short form, specifically using Riverside, which is my favorite kind of go-to tool when I'm trying to make content fast. I do have my like longer editing days where I really want to get into all the weeds and details, but sometimes I just need to post the content fast, and Riverside makes that so easy because it incorporates AI and it actually has a lot of tools in there that just do it for you. So you just get to add the cherries on top. People think that short form is actually faster and easier. It can be a lot harder because you don't have a lot of room to mess up, because you have to catch people's attention really quickly. You have to edit in a fast-paced way, which can take a lot of time to cut all these little details. And again, there's so many places to put it. Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Spotify for podcasters just released a short form version so creators can upload shorter clips or segments of their podcast. So get your cup of tea, get your computer out, get your laptop out. We are going to do this together. I'll show you how to edit your short form without having to manually cut and find interesting parts, make it engaging with captions and end slides, even music, and then personalize your content for any platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram Reels, or even your podcast clips. All right, so we have officially arrived at the editing station. This is where I do everything. I have my computers here. So this is exactly what you see when you log on to Riverside. You basically see like your dashboard of content. As you can see, I've been using this for several podcasts and short form content, long form content, and then to the left side we have different studios. So what's cool is that you can put your work in different studios. Let's edit some short form content for my TikTok. I have really lengthy talky videos and I need Riverside to like cut it up so I don't have to do all that cutting. So what I'm gonna do is upload that content into my dashboard. So I press upload here, I just grab it. I previously transferred this video from my phone into my computer, so it's here. And I also like the organization of Riverside because I can name this. This is where I'm talking about a detox routine, so I'm gonna name it detox routine TikTok. And then while that's processing, I'm gonna upload another one. All right, let's start with the detox routine. I'm gonna press into the recording and I'm basically going to press edit. It saves all your different versions. So this is kind of like the base version, and then I can make different edits and have different types. But I'm gonna press edit. I'm gonna create a new edit so that I can have like a new file essentially. And then what's cool is it uploads this entire transcript of the video. You can see how long this video is. And right here where you see all the little dots, those are kind of the pauses, and it'll tell you exactly how long the pauses are for. So I have a lot of pauses in this clip. It's a literal 8-minute TikTok, and I need to get it down to like 3 or 4 minutes because, you know, with short form, people's attention span is not that long. I see a lot of these filler words and it tells you like the ums or the ahs or the pauses or the breaks, and I want to just go ahead and remove that. That's going to be the biggest time saver when it comes to my short form, especially like when I'm talking. And I'm going to expose myself here because I have a lot of mess ups, but once the filler words and pauses are removed, it'll be a lot easier to work with this. So when I'm editing the short form, I kind of use a combination of the transcript and the timeline. What I like is that you can zoom into the timeline to see all of the details. So you can see where I'm talking, which is kind of like the green parts, and then the white parts is kind of the dead space, which is, I guess, equivalent to the pauses or the ums. And then you can add videos, recordings, uploads, music, whatever you want to it. But for the sake of this TikTok, I'm just gonna keep it simple. It's just a talking video and I'll add some text later. My favorite part is to use the AI producer where I can remove speech breaks, remove those pauses, any dead space. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set the pace. So I probably wanna make this pretty fast because it's TikTok, again, attention span. So I'm gonna do the fast pace, and that'll remove 13 pauses. I might just want to do a super fast too, because that'll remove all of them. So actually I'm gonna do a super fast, and I'm gonna apply that, and it literally took like less than a second. And you can see down here, it removed all of this. And what's cool is like, if I want to adjust the dead space, I can still toggle it here. I can like add more back if I want to, if I change my mind. So now that that's done, I'm gonna leave that be, and then I'm going to smooth the speech. So I'm gonna remove any filler words, and that's just like one click of a button and it automatically does it. So Riverside's always trying to learn, so that's how they did. So let's go and see, let's watch back, because previously the video was pretty bad. I'll give you an example of what the video sounded like before. You're too old to be constantly overstimulated, dopamine out, not enjoying life, and not getting on our Zoom, not getting on our house. And okay, let's see how it sounds with Riverside removing all of that. We are too old to be constantly overstimulated, dopamine out, not enjoying life, and not getting on our Zoom, not getting on our habits. I used to be a constant scroller, somebody who could not get off my phone. Okay, so you see there, I repeated myself, so I can basically just extend this cutout. So where I said this, I used to be like, I said I used to be like, and then I said I used to be. So what I'm gonna do is just extend that cutout until here, so it doesn't sound like I repeated myself. I used to be a constant scroller, somebody who could not get off my phone. Kind of felt, and I am someone who's always craving fun, like I have to be doing something fun. And now that, okay, so that's another gap. Since there was no like filler word and it wasn't exactly like a big pause, I was just kind of like holding on to a word, I can go here and press split. You can also do this with Command S, I believe, on your keyboard, and then you can just drag the clips so that you can cut out the dead space as well. So that's another option if the AI didn't catch something or you just have a preference. And what's cool is if I wanted to add something back, like in the transcription, I could just restore it and it would come back and it would be exactly the way I had it before. I'm basically just gonna do that for the rest of this video and we'll see how it turns out. Another cool thing is that it auto saves, so you can see when I go back into this file, I have my newly edited one here, and then the original is also still here. So it's really nice for having drafts and different versions, and everything automatically saves, so I don't have to press save a million times and worry about if something didn't save. That is the worst fear of an editor, and it already cut out so much time. Like that was already, just with the AI, like almost a minute and a half. Okay, now for my second personal TikTok. This one is a little bit more interesting because it's a shorter video, and it really is just like a talking video, but I do want to add some text to it, so we'll do some of that in Riverside as well. So I'm going to press edit like I did with my last one, and then I'm going to come in here and you can already see from the transcript I say okay, 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 okay. This again is the original video and how it sounded. Okay. So I have a new rule as a work from home girly that I have. All right, so let's dig into this one. I'm going to go ahead and do the AI producer again and cut things out. I'm gonna set this one to be an okay pace. I don't want it to be too fast because it is more of like a conversational TikTok. So I'm gonna press apply. It's removing 7 pauses. That was 32 seconds, which is a decent amount because that basically takes off a huge chunk of this video. It's only like 2.5 minutes. And then I'm also going to do the smoothing speech, and let's see what that takes off. That took off a lot. It literally went to 1 minute and 37 seconds. Okay. Let's see what happened here. This is cutting down my editing time by so much. So I have a new rule as a work from home girly that I have to dress up at least 3 to 5 times a week, actually most days. And I'm gonna go here and take out the so I, and I can press delete and it removes it from the video. Amazing. Like actually most days. A week, like actually most days, and on days where I'm in athleisure, like literally my outfit before this. The transcription is really nice for like really precise cutting when I don't exactly know where I stopped on the timeline, but I can just use the words to cut it out. So now all I really need to do is add text, which Riverside has available, so I can add captions, which that could be a fun option just so people could read along. With short form, especially if people don't know you on platforms like TikTok or Instagram, it's nice to like put something that they recognize on the screen first. It already has my name here, but I can just add simple text. How I make boring outfits interesting. I may or may not stick with this, but this is pretty good for now. I like having sort of a title that is like juxtaposing. I like that here. And then they have different fonts that you can choose. I like to kind of stick with something simple. Anything kind of close to the TikTok font I think is good. And honestly, this looks like the TikTok font. So I think I would keep it, maybe not even do any shadows or anything, but they have a lot of options if you want to, and you can even animate this so it could just slide up. But if I wanted to increase the size, you could also do that as well. So there's so many options, making it left aligned, middle aligned, right aligned. And if you ever needed to resize it, it can do that for you in the platform. So you can resize it for Instagram, keep it for shorts, reels, TikToks. You can do audio only even, and then YouTube, but we don't want to do that. And by the way, on here it might look a little blurry, but when you export it, it's really good quality. I'll show you the finished product of both of them. This is the first one about my detox routine. I'll put a little snippet here. And this is the finished product of my work from home outfit. So I have a podcast episode that's actually up on my podcast channel, and I want to take a clip from that. And what I love about Riverside is that you can do this automatically. This was the full podcast visual, and so now it's going to upload into Riverside. You can either wait for it here or it will email you when it's done. So you can log out, do other things, check your email and see when it actually uploads. So I want to find a really good piece that I can use as a clip to upload onto my YouTube channel for the podcast that is a little bit longer than a traditional like TikTok or Instagram reel, but is shorter than a podcast episode. Okay, so we're gonna go in and create a new edit. I will have my transcription to my left, and then to my right, I'm going to see the podcast footage. Riverside does have the option of like it categorizing all of this for you. So it talks about the different parts of the podcast where I could go in and listen and maybe choose a clip from there or look at the words. I have some notes of like spots that I really liked in the podcast, and it was around 17 minutes where we were talking about the phases of entrepreneurship and how it's actually kind of boring. And I feel like Riverside kind of categorized it a little bit here. So I'm gonna go in and cut this part that I want. Yeah, I want to bring up this and what I like is that I can see exactly where I said something, so I can know where to start the video. So I'm probably just gonna cut everything before because I want to bring up is probably like a better intro. So I'm gonna cut here and then delete this whole half and then start my clip over here. I want to bring up this chart that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. Okay, so that's really good. And now I just need to figure out where I would end this. Again, I want it to be like 10 to 15 minutes. And I like that I can see where the different topics end and start, so I can basically just like stop it here because this is overcoming struggles through experiences, and I feel like that's a little off topic, so I feel like cutting it here.
Have been doing this for decades, and I'm like, would they be struggling with the things I'm struggling?
Okay, that seems like a new topic, so I think I can stop it here because that begins like a whole new conversation when Shaheem starts talking. And then just like that, I have like the clip that I would upload. So I have an intro here and it's already in my files. I can move it to the beginning, and then the podcast clip will start with our intro song. Perfect. And then I can have the outro come in at the end, and then as I close out, like the actual work or content creating or business is like that. It's really boring.
Yeah.
And I think
boring is good in business.
Boring is good in business, and that's something like we're learning. And I sort of always end off the clips on like a cliffhanger. Like we just started talking about how business is like boring and kind of alluding to that, but we don't really get to finish the thought, so people are motivated to watch the full episode. But let me pivot my way of thinking. And then we have our outro. Okay, wonderful. So now that we got that done, we got like 3 videos done already. And while we're at it, we might as well just make a short form content by making like a TikTok or a reel. So what you could do is use magic clips, which is my favorite feature. So I can generate really short form videos from this long form piece of content, and it'll literally choose the spots for me. So I just press generate, and they added this new feature where you can set the duration of the clip. So it can be under 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds, a minute, over a minute. And I feel like for us, 30 to 60 seconds is a sweet spot because attention on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok, very short. And it usually is just enough for people to like have value, not enough to bore them. And then I think again, it'll help them want to find the full podcast or find the full episode. So I'm gonna press 30 to 60 seconds, and you can also add topics to highlight. Okay, so we have our different clips, and I'm excited to go in. Exploring the unknown. That seems interesting. Flight implies you're getting to the destination, and we're just in this spot right now where we just don't know. Like it's, I can say I have my vision, I know where I want to be. It's a really cute one. It's very relatable to like what entrepreneurship feels like. And I could just edit the text because this is not exactly my style, but I love the thought. So I could just do basic and change the font and make it white. There's a lot of customization you can do here. I definitely want less lines. And you can also add images too. If there's anything that you wanted to like bring up, plenty of space to put that. And it automatically resized it to be in the 9:16, perfect for shorts, TikToks, Instagram reels. But I have so many options to choose from for these clips, and they're like from 30 seconds to a minute long. And then I have the draft of my clip. So I have all of these different things, and I'm really set to just like upload as many as possible. So I have a lot of different options now, which is great. If you're wanting to give it a try and get a pro membership so you're able to create short form content fast, make sure you use the code in the description. And let me know what questions you have or like what you're creating. I would love to see what you've created with Riverside. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next upload. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.